3 minutes to the distinguished gentleman from the state of Washington, a member of the Ways and Means Committee, more important to this discussion, an outstanding, passionate voice concerning climate change and carbon emission.
The gentleman from Washington is recognized for 3 minutes. Without objection, the gentleman is recognized for 3 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, members of the Congress, the Republican propaganda machine is out here pushing a false choice. You either have no regulations or you have no economy. That's what it is. You have to get rid of all the regulations or you won't have an economy. Now, that simply is not true. And the facts are piling up worldwide that we cannot continue what we're doing. Now, on the front page of today's, I didn't have time to blow it up. It's on the front page of the Washington Post, is a picture of a Chinese city where you can't see a guy riding a bicycle in the street. That's true in Delhi, that's true in Beijing, it's all over the world. And unfortunately, climate is all over the world. We can't just have it clean in our neighborhood and have it awful in the rest of the world. We have to think about a larger issue than our own. I've heard the same arguments that I'm hearing today when we said you got to stop smoking on the airplanes. Why, we heard the tobacco boys running in here saying, oh, this is the end of the earth. There'll be nobody smoking tobacco. And look what's happened. The air's cleaned up on planes. It's cleaned up in restaurants. It's cleaned up on this floor because we had rules and regulations. Now, this is a public health problem as much as it is an economic problem. Since I got out of the military in 1968, 76,000 miners have died of black lung disease. 76,000. We've appropriated in this House $45 billion in money to those miners because of their problems. Our ravenous appetite for fossil fuels continues to be a real problem, and it's getting worse. And yet, with all the reckless bills, the Republicans are once again turning a blind eye to these costs. They don't mean anything. We want the mine owners to have freedom to do whatever they want and the power companies to do whatever they want. We don't want anybody to tell them you have to clean it up. In Seattle, we have a steel plant right in the middle of town. It's run by Nucor. The Nucor steel rebar plant is right in the middle of the city. It's been cleaned up, and you can do it. But the coal boys and the power boys, they don't want to spend any money cleaning anything up. They don't want anybody telling them you got to regulations, you got to reduce the amount of particulates in the air. So we've got this problem that's going on and on and on. Now, as industry and the industry-bought Republicans fight tooth and nail against any effort to reduce dependence on fossil fuels, they're not just condemning future generations to a world battered by increasing extreme and erratic weather patterns. We're seeing them all over the world. They are beginning. May I have another minute?
We yield an additional 1 minute.
Thank you. They're really betraying a generation of Americans who are already reeling from the impact of all of this. Coal miners and the communities they live in are bearing the brunt of this irresponsible action by the coal owners. We had the same thing in Washington State with the forests. People said, you got to keep cutting trees. Cut every tree you can see that's standing anywhere. And we said, if you do that, you destroy the environment. So we stopped, and we helped the loggers find another way to make a living, and they're doing just fine. Now, if we keep this up and keep resisting and keep exposing the American public, both in the mines and in the cities, to this kind of environment, we're doing it. We're going to pay for it. It's like that Fram commercial when I was a kid. The Fram commercial was, you either clean your air filter on your car now or you're going to pay me later by having to have the motor redone. That's what this is about. We're talking about a president who says, let's put some new Fram filters in here and see if we can't cut down the pollution and save both the people and the economy. I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman's time has expired. Gentleman from New York reserved.